Hello and welcome to Bird Talk Radio. I am your host, Joshua Martin. I'll be going over the games, the scores, and, everything Philadelphia Eagles. Go Birds. Now let's start the show. Hello and welcome to a beautiful Victory Monday. I'm wearing both jerseys today because we had a beautiful weekend in Philly. I didn't know where to start first. I guess I can start with the Phillies first because they haven't been to the playoffs since 2011, and their first time back, they actually made it out of the wild card, and they're going into the first leg of baseball postseason, and we're going up against the Atlanta Braves. I guess if we can pull up that first image, we can just knock things out right away. So the Phillies played wild card this past weekend against the St. Louis Cardinals, who were the winners of their division, but we just made it into the wild card. So this was a shot from Bryce Harper's home run in Game 2. After Game 1, I think after the 9th inning, I should say, of Game 1, that's when our momentum just kicked it on. Zach Wheeler, he pitched amazing Game 1. He kind of pitched amazing. Aaron Nola, he's the one that did a beautiful job Game 2. Bryce Harper had that beautiful home run, and then we got that second run in. We loaded the bases, and I think we loaded the bases and just kept playing. Let's pull up the next image. We can show the whole team in the Cardinals Stadium celebrating. It was a really good victory. I think this is like a momentum swing, I should say, for them. Because after this, I'll say Atlanta Braves, yes, it's going to be a hard team to play. But I think it's best out of 5 now. It's best out of 5, and we get to go home. I just can't wait to see the home energy from Philly Stadium when we play there. That's going to be really fun to watch. Suarez is going to be our first pitcher. He was supposed to pitch Sunday if there was supposed to be Game 3, but since we won 2-0, he's going to pitch Game 1 against the Braves. If we can pull up the playoff picture, I'll show you everything and how it looks like. Seattle Mariners moved on, which was kind of exciting to see, and so did the Cleveland Guardians and San Diego Padres. I think it's going to be a really fun postseason. Obviously, the Dodgers and Houston Astros are two teams that are just insanely stacked, but I don't think the Padres are going to be much against for the Dodgers. But I think on the other side for Houston, the other number 1 team, I think Seattle is going to be a really tough team for Houston because I think Seattle has a strong offense. Whether their defense can hold up against Houston's offense, I don't know. Justin Verlander's pitching first game, which is probably obvious. We'll see what he can throw out or dish out against Seattle. And then Cleveland and New York, that's going to be a fun series. Cleveland's pitching just dominated Tampa Bay. So let's see how the Yankees can hold up with that. And then, again, top right, Phillies and Atlanta. We see them all the time in the regular season because we're in the same division, so we shouldn't be scared by any of their tactics or any of their players, I should say. It should be a good, fun series. I don't want to say Atlanta's going to win because I can't count out Phillies. I think, like I said, we haven't been to the playoffs since 2011. I think it's just going to be a really good series. And I think we're really going to have that drive, I should say, to keep going on into the NLCS series as well. But the division series starts tomorrow, and we'll see how things go. It's going to be really fun to watch. October, baby. October. Let's get that ISO back on me, and I'll go over the games and the scores of what happened this past weekend. Colts and Broncos, they played Thursday night. That was a really boring game. Russell Wilson ain't it. I'm going to say it every week. I don't want to, but he's just not it. That's all I got to say about that one. Giants and Packers. Wow. Saquon didn't have a good game. I mean, he went 13 carries, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. But I think, I don't know. It says Giants D comes up with big stops in red zone to top Packers. Yeah, they did that, yes, in the last play downs that the Packers had going in to tie it up the game, or to take the lead of the game, I should say. But I don't know. I don't know if the Giants are scary or what I think it is. I think just the Packers are lazy. I don't think the Packers are lazy. I think Aaron Rodgers is lazy. I think he's just trying to go out and just let his natural. Why are you bullying me? I think Aaron Rodgers is terrible. I don't think he's it anymore. I think he's just trying to coast through it. He's not trying anymore. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just what I feel. On to the 1 o'clock games. Bills and Steelers was I was about to say an exciting game. I was only going to say exciting because I have Josh Allen as my number 1 quarterback in fantasy. Yeah, 38-3, the end of that game. I said it last game. I said not to put Kenny Pickett in because now he's going to have to start the rest of the season. And you can't have him going into Buffalo playing against his team. That's what's going to happen. His leg almost went boing. I don't know. Chargers and Browns. That was actually a really good game. Another game there, I think Justin Herbert should be sitting out for a couple of weeks after the rib injury. The Chargers were supposed to be a playoff team, if not a Super Bowl team this year. But with that injury, it does hold Herbert back a little bit. They did get the win, yes. Austin Eckler played another great game finally. 16 carries, 173 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. But like I said, I think they just should have rested Herbert for a little bit. Just put Chase Daniel in for these past 2 games. It was the Jags and the Browns. The Browns are a tough team. That's in Cleveland too, but it's really a testament of what your team can do without your starting quarterback, and that's what we should have seen. But it's all good. They got the win on that one. Bears and Vikings. That was actually a really fun game to watch too. Vikings pulled it off not last second, but they pulled off the victory. Justin Jefferson's insane every single week. 12 receptions, 154 receiving yards, and I think he had most of that in the first half. Kirk Cousins played like Kirk Cousins. He had a decent game. But the Bears are just, I'm trying to remember what I saw. They just went back. I don't know. I know Justin Fields is missing an O-line. I know he only has 2 seconds, probably not even that, to throw a ball off. It was just a fun game to watch. The Vikings, I don't know what to say about them either. Yes, they're 4-1. Yes, they're 3-0 in their division, but it's always up to Kirk Cousins, and he's a wild card, so we never know what we're going to get from him. But they won that one 29-22. Before I keep going, I do apologize. I didn't get my picks out last week. I have them written down now. If I have enough time, I'll tell you them. If not, I will get them out to you this week. I promise about that. But going on, Lions and Patriots. That was a surprising game because the Lions have the number 1 scoring offense, I believe, but they also have the worst defense in the league as well. And we saw that this past game. Okay. They lost 29-0. 29-0. I know I'm going to get the name wrong, but the running back for the Lions, he didn't do so hot last game, Williamson. I'm not going to try to say his first name because I don't have it up. I think it's Jamal Williamson or Jamison Williamson. He didn't play so hot. Wow. The running back for New England, Stevenson, 25 carries, 161 rushing yards. Had a really good game there. And Jacoby Myers had a really good game. 7 receptions, 111 receiving yards, 1 tud. And the Patriots just dominated that whole game. The Lions looked like the Detroit Lions finally. That's all I got to say. And Taysom Hill for the New Orleans Saints went off against the Seattle Seahawks. I think they had this man. Oh, they have him as a tight end. That's how you can pick him up in fantasy, I believe, as a tight end. 9 carries, 9. This is their, I guess right now because Winston is still injured, this is their second string quarterback labeled as a tight end, having the running game of his life because he went 9 carries, 112 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. And 2 of those touchdowns were long rushing yards. There's one here that says 60-yard rushing touchdown. That man is definitely the image of the Saints this season, or as of right now, I should say, with them dealing with injuries in the quarterback position, I should say. Taysom Hill just really carried that team for that game. They won 39-32. The Bird Gauntlet is still alive for the Saints. I don't think they're going to get past the Eagles. That's all I got to say, but we'll see what happens with their Bird Gauntlet. Dolphins and Jets. Jets looked very surprising that game. The only reason they looked surprising, Brees Hall had another beautiful game. Thank God I had him on my fantasy. The Dolphins dealing with some injuries. They took out Teddy Bridgewater because of concussion protocol. They had the new NFLPA/NFL rules against concussion protocol. They saw him wobbling a little bit, so they took Teddy Bridgewater out for the rest of the game, make sure he doesn't come back and risk anything else, which I think is smart, but just don't be too cautious with the players because these games are still big games for a lot of people. We saw Skylar Thompson come in. I know a lot of people hyped him up in the preseason, but this is the regular season, and we get to see the real starters come out. So I don't know. Maybe with him practicing with with the starters this practice, I know Teddy Bridgewater will most likely be ready for next week, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Jets won 40-17. No one really did hot for the Jets. It's just the Dolphins stunk that game. Zach Wilson went 14-21, 210 yards. It's not like he played a 40-point game. He played a 10-point game, if that, maybe. But yeah, the next one, Falcons and Buccaneers. I know there's a lot of controversy on that one. Tom Brady played decent, I guess. He's 10-0. I think he's 11-0 now against the Falcons. But everyone's talking about that roughing the passer call. That was a terrible call. It was a terrible call. It was a normal tackle, but it was on a 3rd down, and it was the last possession of the Buccaneers drive. They stopped him. They wrapped him by the around the waist and threw him to the ground. And they called it roughing the passer. The only thing I can think of roughing the passer for is because it was the same throwdown, I believe, that Tua got thrown down the same way Tua got thrown down the second time when his fingers went out. And I'm pretty sure they don't want to see Tom Brady, or that happened to Tom Brady at all. That's the only thing I can think of. I have no understanding why they threw a flag on that play. That was terrible. That's how it went. So the Buccaneers won that one. Like I said, it was on 3rd down, automatic 1st down, and they just had to take the time off the clock, and they won the game, 21-15. Titans and Commanders. That was a really good game. Carson Wentz could have had the game-winning touchdown, but he blew it, and he threw a game-winning or game-ending interception instead. And that's just Carson with you. You never know what you're going to get with him. You can probably have the greatest quarterback in the league, or you can just have someone that just flops the bed for your team and just the one man just ruins it for your whole team. And that's what we saw with Carson. Last game for the Commanders, home game too against Titans. It's a game they should have probably won, but they lost 17-21 or 21-17. Titans won. Derrick Henry had another decent game for him. He had 2 touchdowns, yes, 28 carries, only 102 rushing yards. I don't think we're going to see the 2,000-yard rushing season from Derrick Henry this year. A little slow season. I think he's on the, I don't want to say he's on the downhill, but it is hard for a running back to stay at that peak all the time. The last bit of the 1 o'clock games, Texans and Jaguars, 13-6. That was a boring game as well. But the Texans hold out. They held out, and finally there's no winless teams. Texans got to win. They're 1-3-1. Congratulations to them. Dameon Pierce, I want to say he's Rookie of the Year just because I'm a Florida Gator fan. He's looking really nice for the Texans. He's the only Texans offense, I will say, this year. 26 carries, 99 rushing yards, 1 tud. Trevor Lawrence, I don't know what's up with him. I think he's definitely the franchise quarterback at Jacksonville, yes. Maybe they're just still in rework mode. Maybe they need a new offensive line. I know they don't have they have good receivers. They have Marvin Jones and they have Christian Kirk, who are really good. But I don't know. I don't know what they're missing. But Trevor Lawrence, 25-47, 286 passing yards and 2 interceptions. I mean, it's just his second year. He's on his second head coach of the being in the pros. So that's maybe what it is. Still getting used to the league. All right, and now in the 4 o'clock games, 49er Panthers. Matt Rule's going to be fired probably today, sometime this week, so look out for that. And with Matt Rule being fired, if I had to guess, they're probably going to put their offensive coordinator or whoever it is as the temporary head coach. And that temporary head coach, if I had to guess, will put Sam Darnold in at starting quarterback and take out Baker Mayfield. So we'll probably see that soon. Jimmy G looked nice. And yeah, the 49ers they just dominated the Panthers. 37-15 the end of that game. And then another team that dominated, Cowboys, and it's rubbing my neck and it's just making me goosebumps because I don't want the Cowboys to be good. Cooper Rush looks nice. I don't like it. I really don't like it. And the defense looked really good for the Cowboys. They had a stop on 4th down, and the 3rd play of the game, they had a fumble recovery to return it to the end zone. Cowboys won 22-10. I just don't want them to be good. That's all. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And then the Eagles. They had a 5-0 start. I didn't think we were going to win this one. I was scared to go to Arizona because we never play good in Arizona. But we looked, I don't want to say we looked hot, but we looked decent. We looked compatible. We looked like we didn't give up. We weren't tired. Dallas Goedert played beautiful. 8 receptions, 95 receiving yards. I know the Cardinals don't have all the receivers. DeAndre Hopkins is still out, so they had to worry about Marquise Brown, who is on the smaller side, and we have bigger defenders. We have Darius Slay and James Bradbury covering him. But they had Zach Ertz, and Zach Ertz didn't look. I think it was a little threatened. I think he was a little shaken up because he left. He didn't leave. We traded him. Yes, we traded him. But I think he was a little intimidated playing against his old team and of how good we are. And the team he went to they're good, yes, but I think he was a little intimidated by Philly. I really do. Matt Amendola, he missed the field goal. If you saw his pregame kicks, they were all going right, and what happened on the field goal kick to tie it up? It went right. I don't know which way is right to you guys. This is my right hand, but it went to the right side. It didn't doink it, but it did. It sailed right. Eagles hold on to win it 2017 with a backup kicker too. So that was awesome job by him. I don't know, something Dicker, I think his last name. Caleb Dicker. That sounds familiar. So good job to you coming in and helping us out with that win. Jalen Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns. They were both on the 1-yard line, which I really don't like you guys doing. Maybe we could just give the ball to Dallas Goedert and do like a little fullback run into the end zone. That would be nicer. Yes, Hurts can get these 1-yard runs, but I don't like him being stuffed in the group, in the cluster, and having someone push him in. But if it works, it works. I just don't like seeing it because Hurts is not the biggest guy. I think he's 6 foot, and he may be 6'1". He's no Big Ben. He's no Carson Wentz, I should say. He's no Josh Allen. But if it works, it works, I guess. I don't know. But like I said, we won 2017. I missed the game last night because I was watching the Mets and Padres game. But it looked like a very good game. Justin Tucker got the last-minute field goal to win it. Bengals and Ravens. Joe Burrow looked nice, 24-35, 217 passing yards, 1 touchdown. I don't know. If we can, I'll take a quick commercial break. What I have planned, I have my top 5 teams. I'll show you that. Maybe it'll be a little new segment. I'll go over. Oh, look, it's Bree. I'll go over some picks next week. I'll go over like the schedule, and I'll give you some of my picks. But I promise this week. Oh, they did fire him. Oh, what did I tell you? Oh, actually, breaking news: Matt Rule is fired right now. So you learned it here, hot, fresh, and from Bird Talk Radio. Sources: ESPN, Adam Schefter. I don't know who it's from. It's probably from one of them too. But we'll be right back from commercial break. If you want to call into the studio, it's 888-994-4995, Studio A, not Studio B, because there's another show going on there right now. But call in Studio A, Bird Talk Radio 2022 at gmail.com if you want to get in touch with me. And then we'll be right back. So catch you on the flip side. In a world.
Where's everyone? I'm your host, Daniel.
That is terrible.
Where movies and trivia collide.
I'm a vampire.
Twilight.
2 ridiculously good-looking game show hosts.
I'm your host, Daniel.
And I am Joshua Martin.
Will tackle the challenge of being the best at movie trivia.
All right, this is about a board game that comes to life.
This guy repeats his day over and over and over again.
The power of Christ compels you.
Movie Wars.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. Whether you enjoy watching in the mornings or afternoons, you can now watch with your favorite merchandise. Choose from the Brooklyn Cafe t-shirts, ranging from sizes small to 3XL. Colors available include black, dark heather, and navy. Feeling chilly? Just check out our latest hoodie with over 9 colors to choose from. Sip on some Brooklyn Cafe coffee with Dawn and Freddie in a matching mug as seen on set. Brooklyn hats and special seasonal items are always popping up and available upon request. To purchase, you can visit our online store at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy shopping!
Carolina Panthers fired coach Matt Rule after 1-4 start. 1-4 start. I'm clumsy, I'm sorry. Steve Wilkes has been named the intern coach. And Rule, this is Matt Rule. Okay, first let me give you the contract that they signed him for. Because he came from Baylor, and he brought Baylor to a good team. A decent team, I guess, in college. They gave him a $62 million contract for 7 years. And this is how good he did in only 3 years of a Panther coach. He went 11-27. That is trash. That is terrible. I could do better. If I had Christian McCaffrey as my running back, I could do better. I did. All right, don't believe me. What do I have up? I have my top 5 teams. I can give you that to mine right now. So if you can pull up my top 5 teams, they're in the picture section, and it's called top 5, I believe. But let's see. It's a new little segment. Just to give you my top 5 teams, these are it right now. I'm not biased, but we are the only undefeated team, Philadelphia Eagles. We do have a player in the top 5 of rushing, top 5 of passing, and top 5 of receiving. It may change. This was last week. The top 5 may change this week because I know what did Miles Sanders do. I don't think Miles Sanders ran that much last game, and we didn't have a lot of passing. I know A.J. Brown didn't receive the ball that much this past game, so I don't know how things will be. But we have a fully equipped team, and that's why I have the Eagles at number 1. The only thing I think we're missing may be the middle of the coverage, maybe a linebacker. We have no Kobe Dean. I would like to see him out there more. We're dealing with injuries now on the offensive line. I'm glad Jason Kelsey's fine. He went out for a little bit. He came back second half, thankfully. Jordan Mailata, hopefully he comes back soon. And Lane Dickerson, he went down for a little bit, but I think he should be fine too. So I think the Eagles are fine for now. We have a really tough game Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. So that's going to be a real competition. It's in Philly, so I have the Eagles winning that one. We'll probably lose in Dallas. That's kind of what we do. But I'm confident. I'm confident on this one. And then next up we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They play tonight against the Raiders. I don't think it should be a tough game for them. But Mahomes is having another Mahomes season. I hate it. I really do. But I guess he is just good. I only have him above. I have him at number 2 and Buffalo Bills at 3. I probably could flip-flop that because I believe the Bills do have a better defense than the Chiefs. But that could go either way right now between the Chiefs and the Bills. And I think we'll see it next week because they do play each other for a 25 game. That's going to be really fun to watch. It's in Kansas City, so that's going to really help out the Chiefs a little bit because they have the loudest stadium. But I think the Bills are going to win that one just because of what happened last year in the playoffs. I think Josh Allen's pissed. I think it's going to be a really good game to watch. It's probably going to be like that Chiefs-Rams game we saw way back when the Rams went to the Super Bowl. I think it was 2018. It was like 52-48 at the end of the game. It's going to be something like that. And then I have the Dallas Cowboys at my number 4. They're looking hot. I think what's really holding them up, surprisingly, and we didn't see it last year, but their defense is actually looking really good. And I'm actually really scared of Micah Parsons. He's really, really, really good. And I think I hate to say it, but when Aaron Donald's done, I think the new king of defense is going to be Micah Parsons. It may be T.J. Watt, but T.J. Watt's injured right now, obviously, so I think Micah Parsons might hold that crown sooner or later. And then I have the Baltimore Ravens at number 5. They should be higher up. They should be undefeated because the 2 games they lost, they were only trailing for 14 seconds of those 2 games, I believe it is. I think that's the stat. And they just beat the Bengals, last-minute field goal. So, yeah, I think the Ravens should have a better team. But that's my top 5 right now. I hope you like it. Just get back out to me. Stay in touch with me. Like I said, Bird Talk Radio 2022 at gmail.com, or my Facebook handle should be the same thing, Bird Talk Radio 2022. Catch me on Instagram, birdtalk.radio. It's different on Instagram, yes. But I think that's it. It's going to be a really tough game, I'll say, for Philly tomorrow and next Sunday night. Phillies, they play the Atlanta Braves, game 1 of the divisional series. Yeah, divisional series. So we got that against Atlanta. And then Sunday night, we go against the Cowboys Sunday night game. It's in Philly, so we should have that home field crowd pumped and ready to go. And I think that's it. Tonight, Raiders and Chiefs, going to be a good game. I think I got the Chiefs on that one. Raiders aren't looking hot. I don't know what's up with them. Josh McDaniels is probably not a good head coach. He's a good offensive coordinator, yes, but head coach-wise, probably not. But that's all I got for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. My name's Josh, and I think that is it. So I'll catch you next week.
Thank you for watching Bird Talk Radio. Again, I am your host, Joshua Martin. If you want to contact me or be on the show, just email me at birdtalkradio2022@gmail.com, or you can call in during the show at 888-994-4995 in Studio A. Have a wonderful day, and remember, go Birds.